when we look at the western upland of West Bengal, which is forming the southeastern fringe of Chotanagpur Plateau, mainly in Midnapur, Purulia, Bankura, Bardhaman, and many of the northeastern states, we see that these Neolithic artifacts like celts, groundstone axes, and when I am mentioning West Bengal, I should also mention North Bengal, Kalimpong and Darjeeling districts. From these places, these Neolithic artifacts are seen in isolated occurrences. No definite context, no definite stratigraphy, and they are often found with microlithic tools in the in regions like Purulia and Midnapur, northwestern Midnapur. At the site called Tamluk, which is a coastal site, from the lowest level, which was called a Neolithic level by excavators, but we do not have substantial evidence. Neolithic cells with handmade pottery were recorded. But this is something something which needs to be worked upon, something which is we are not very clear about. In the northeast, very interestingly, many of these Neolithic cells, we do not know what their antiquity is, but they are worshipped as ritual objects by many of the ethnic communities. Eastern India, again, we take up one of the coastal sites in Orissa, a very famous site called Golbai Shashon. Golbai Shashon has a deposit of about 7 to 8 meters. This is it is in the laterite regions and on the banks of Mahanadi. Now, again, this is a multicultural site, and the Neolithic is dated to about 2300 to 2000 BC. Interestingly, no stone tools have been found here. You found pottery, mostly handmade, as well as wheel-made pottery, probably slow wheel, and bone points have been found. Piercers made of bones have been found. And the raw material used for these bone implements were possibly some of the semi-mineralized bones which were found at the site, and some antler remains have been found, probably belong to some of these antelope species. Now, what about the decorations that we are seeing in the pottery? In the handmade pottery, we are seeing that there are decorations of reed impressions on the pottery. And where it comes to the wheel-made pottery, we are seeing that there is some red ochre painting. And we are getting some floor levels from which we can talk about, again, mud brick houses. But Golbai Shashon is probably one of the only sites in coastal Orissa which has been well walked upon. So these areas need to be investigated more. Now, the southern Neolithic is very broadly, it can be divided into two types of sites: sites with ash mount and sites without ash mount. The core region of the southern Neolithic culture is basically Shorapur Dwap, Raichur, and some of these main regions. Now, Bridget Olchin and F.R. Olchin, who have worked substantially on the southern Neolithic, classifies the Neolithic, the southern Neolithic, according to changes in technology, particularly pottery production, and also according to the importance of trade imports in a Neolithic culture. Stone tools have been found from various sites. Chert blades have been found, pounders have been found, these polished stone tools have been found. What about the raw material? They are not always available in the vicinity. Like Professor K. Padaya tried to address this problem when he took up the excavation of the ash mound site of Budihal in the Shorapur Dwap. And he documented this very interesting workshop site, which is adjacent to the main Neolithic site, from where he found a lot of these chert blades which are larger than the microlithic ones. And he surmised that the chert sources were in some of the neighboring chert veins found in the limestone rocks, probably not on the site, but a little distance away. Now, such studies are required much more if we want to say more about, if we want to know more about the southern Neolithic culture.